So I just sent you the next article we're going to be talking about. A
Ooh,
certain controversial character.
Amazon's Lord of the Rings could feature a surprisingly controversial character. So on the thumbnail, is it Frodo?
No.
Is Frodo controversial?
uh, they do have a lot of photos of him in this article, though. That's interesting. It is not Frodo. Um, it's a fan favorite, although maybe some people consider Frodo a fan favorite. Um, and it's we know from reading the
uh,
synopsis that it's going to be set in the Second Age. So it's none other than Tom Bombadil. We've
uh,
talked about this guy before,
yeah.
and how we are okay and even actually welcome his exclusion from the original trilogy, just because of the tone, among other things. Can he fit into this without making it too silly? That I think the tone of his character in this, if he's in it, is really going to matter and impact the show. Because
Hmm.
I mean, this guy's basically people who really like this guy. It's because of the power that is sort of hidden um, inside this happy-go-lucky, silly woodsman. Basically, uh, he is unfazed by the ring. Um, he seems to have power over nature to some degree. In the end, so not only when the hobbits encounter him is he shown to be pretty powerful, but at the very end of the books, Gandalf actually leaves the hobbits to go and have a long talk with Tom Bombadil. About what, we don't know, but clearly there is something there that is important to the world of Middle Earth. And so I think people just like that idea. Like, this guy has these otherworldly powers, and they kind of want to see what is up with him.
Yeah.
And we know that he was alive during the Second Age of Middle Earth. So he's, at least if he's not in the show, he will be in the world somewhere. Events will be unfolding, and he will be within the vicinity to interact with them. Although he was also alive in the original trilogy and did not um, interact with them at all. Um, Other than his brief time in the books, helping the hobbits when they were wandering in the woods. So, what this guy actually does, I mean, it's hard to say. I don't really understand what Tom Bombadil brings um, to certain events, other than his immense power, which everyone agrees is definitely there. He doesn't seem to be too interested in most of what goes on in Middle Earth, and so it's hard to see how he interacts with it. Um, and as it's pointed out in the article, that it's never revealed what race Bombadil is, or his origins, or what he is. Um, this is deliberately left unanswered, and because of that, he's always going to have this air of mystery surrounding him, and people are going to want to know more about him.
Hmm. Yeah. We'll see how they integrate him.
Yeah,
Hmm. They could do it kind of. They could parallel the book, like one of the main characters just gets into a situation, and Tom Bombadil just comes along merrily, singing in a song and
yep.
saves them, and then disappears, and everyone would be like, "What the heck was that?"
Well, that's the way I think I would I would integrate him into the story if I were so inclined, is to have mysterious events happen, like you said, but maybe not necessarily show it, but maybe have people who were there talk about it, about how this guy was singing and did something magical or something, and so it'd be through that mystery lens that we would know his deeds. You do run the risk of putting him on screen and having it kind of fall flat, which is what I think Jackson was worried about.
Yeah.
I think he was worried about the tone that this guy brings forth, and there's a way to do it, but it's a very fine line to walk, and if it's not done in the right way,
Yeah, they could make him like a very superficial character, and then if they want, maybe they could make another series with a different tone that would feature him more. Like I'm just thinking of, like I know the way the Star Wars are starting to write books, right?
mhm.
Like prequeling, like the High Republic era. Not that we're gonna go into that, but they have books for oriented towards adults. They have books oriented to like young teens, and they're kind of written differently with different tones, but
Gotcha.
they're all canon, and
Yeah.
they all fit into the same universe, but they're written for different age levels, even though they're all part of the story. So maybe if you make like almost, I'm not gonna say like a young kids show, but you can make a kids show for Tom Bombadil, and then a darker toned
Oh, I see.
show for
Yeah.
adults. They're all canon, but they have very different tones and they're
Right. I see what
separate.
you're getting at. Yeah. Yeah. So that they can tie in, but you don't necessarily need to watch one or the other, and you can kind of pick and choose your own tone, the way in which you enjoy Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Um, I can see that. I think also if you're gonna do it, it's got to be early on, just simply because the tone does shift, like as all shows and movies do, as you get towards the end and those stakes get higher and higher. At that point, unless you're going to completely subvert expectations and have Bombadil come in singing a song and save the day at the very end of the whole thing, which isn't, I don't think is canon, and so it would not happen because the Tolkien estate's overseeing it. But like that would just kind of be so weird, and again, it's going to be divisive whether or not they put him in or not. There's going to be people who never want to see Bombadil on screen, and there's going to be people who are like, if Bombadil's not in this, it's not a real Lord of the Rings production. One piece, one interesting thing to note though, and it's pointed out here, is that Elrond has met Bombadil. They they talk about it in Lord of the Ring, not in the movies, but in the books. Elrond has acknowledged his existence and has stated that he has met Bombadil. There is talk that a young Elrond, or a younger Elrond, I should say, will potentially make an appearance in the TV show. And so that could be a way in which we get a Bombadil scene. I don't believe so. If Gandalf has met Bombadil before, which it kind of seems like he might have, they definitely haven't had a big interaction, because Gandalf has this big speech at the end of the Lord of the Rings books, in that he has to go and talk with Bombadil, a really long talk, to sort of get some understanding on a bunch of different matters. So it does seem like, although they're aware of this character, no one seems to have big interactions with him. So he can't be a huge part of anything. He seems to, like you said, he swoops in, saves a day, or does something, and then leaves. And he doesn't seem to hang around and go with some group to do some activity. But obviously, the fact that this guy was able to put on the ring, not be corrupted at all, and not turn invisible, and see Frodo when he had the ring on.
Yeah, you can see the shadow world or whatever.
Yeah, the fact that he's able to do all of that stuff and then just disappears from the story, like that's what gets people in such this frenzy to see this character, and see what they can do. And it's sort of like we were talking, like you mentioned, like the whole Marvel thing, and that it kind of, that's what those characters do, and that's why people want to keep seeing those characters come onto the screen to see what they can do. The problem is there is no equivalent to Bombadil, so you just get this immensely powerful being doing stuff, and you run the risk of having it kind of be like a Superman or something, where it what's going to stop Bombadil? Nothing. So there's no stakes. Like there's no, all the villains are useless towards him. And like you do run the risk, if you use him like that, to to just kind of mess everything up for everyone else in terms of their risks and their what they're sacrificing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if this guy makes it onto the screen. Not sure why Frodo is all over this this article though.
Every photo.
They really like Elijah Wood in this. I guess there is no photo of Bomb. I mean, there are. You can actually see some images.
There are some picture drawings.
Yeah. So you could have had those, or you could have had maybe like Gandalf or something that's like, I guess, more closely resembles Bombadil. So
I mean, Treebeard too. I feel like in the movie they kind of gave Treebeard some of Bombadil's
that's true.
lines.
That's true. A lot of his lines go there and are in a different context. I think still work. I think Treebeard has some great lines. So I think they still work.
I hope he shows up.
Yeah, that'd be interesting too, right?
He's definitely around.
Yep. But yeah,
Find out what happened to the Entwives.
yeah, we could. I mean, Merry and Pippin are supposed to report back when they get back to the Shire and tell him about the Entwives, if there's any Entwives up there. I wonder if they ever go back. That's a long trip. But yeah, I think that's it for this one. I'm not gonna hate it if he's in it. I hope that he's used strategically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let us know down below in the comments if you want to see Bombadil in the TV show or if you don't want anything to do with this character. I think it's not as divided as people think. I think most people do want to see this character, but I would love to see what the viewers think. But that's all for this one. Remember to like it and please subscribe to see the next episode.